Hello and welcome to Round 9 coverage of Grand Prix Sydney. I'm Brian David Marshall. I am joined by Marshall Sutcliffe, and we are watching Dan Musser try to take down the biggest Goliath on the Magic scene right now.
Easily.
Seth Manfield, reigning world champion, front runner for Player of the Year, looking to steal the candy out of Tomohiro Saito and Brian Braun-Duin's mouth here.
I could tell you he's doing a good job as well. So just to give you an update as we head into this match, we've got this 4-player race for the Grand Prix Player of the Year, and right now Seth Manfield is got 24 match points, looking to make it 27 with a perfect 9-0 here. Brian Braun-Duin comes into this round with 21, so the most he can finish with is 24 going into the round. Now that would be good for him if Seth loses and he wins. He's still in the lead. He has a 1-point lead anyway. Below him, though, are Saito and Duke on 19 and 18 respectively.
Oh,
so Duke is looking not great.
Yeah.
But Saito's still in the hunt, depending on what happens tomorrow, with a draw in there as well. Oh no, this is not good for Seth Manfield. Dan Musser is going to transform his hermit
to the Natternals.
Now it's a lone wolf of the Natternals, and things are going to get very difficult for Manfield from here on out. This could be a very quick game one, BDM.
He's done nothing. He's played 4 lands. There you see Dan Musser. Take a look at plays a veteran Cathar.
It's not getting better for Manfield. There's no sweepers in his colors, so Dan Musser knows that he can just run out all of his creatures and not be punished too terribly here. And this one could be over super quickly. Manfield has done nothing. Look at that. Has he cast a spell?
I just want to know nothing. I want to know what his hand is.
I have no idea.
I'm just curious if we can find out. Maybe our spotter can tell us what's in Seth Manfield's. All right, here's
a Mirror Wing Dragon.
Okay.
It's not going to be enough. It'll help, though. Basically, any removal spell here for Musser that's not an instant or sorcery that would also kill all of his creatures. So basically no removal spells. He could find, though, since he's in white, Choking Restraints would do it. Yeah, he's just going to rumble.
Yeah,
he does have 2 humans. Yeah, it makes sense to block there. Though Seth could be taking 9 damage here and falling to 2.
Dan's like, okay.
Also, if Dan has a pump spell, he can actually target the Mirror Wing Dragon with it and pump his whole team. He's not even going to bother. He's just going to go aim high Woodcutter's Grit on his own 2 creatures and just finish it. He also, though, could have cast it on the Mirror Wing and just had it for all of his creatures.
Could have cast both of them on the Mirror Wing.
But which would have been high style, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Wow, what a beating.
That was just a not even sure what do you think a hand from Manfield could look like there?
He could have
just like a bunch of
I don't know. I'm
cards.
just speculating. Yeah, some removal spells that didn't kill what he had. It's just there was like 2 toughness creatures. I don't know.
You see Dan Musser taking a look through his cards. He's got some sideboard plan going on. We peek in on Peter Saharic versus Andrew Cuneo.
Looks like Andrew's got a Wretched Griff gobbling up Fury Blade Vampire of all things.
Oh, that's a is that an Emrakul's Evangel for Petter there?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's going to get in there.
There's a Bloodbriar. fly over with the Griff. Ooh, Sin Prodder. I always, when you see a rare from Shadows of Innistrad, it's always exciting now. You get so few
they're rarer.
opportunities. Yeah.
Petter Sahurk, by the way, has been doing really well at the Pro Tour. I had a couple of interviews with him, and he's really been putting up great results.
Yeah. You see, he's wearing the. Okay, we're gonna go back to our first match while these guys work out what they're doing. And okay, things are going a little better for Seth Manfield. He leads off with a Falcon Wrath Reaver. But News Constrictor is
I love
choking,
that card, man.
choking Seth's ability to do anything here with his Reaver.
I love that. It's great, right?
I love that card. Yeah. Okay, Brazen Wolves.
Another card you love.
I do. Just punches above its weight.
It does. It does. That's a nice answer for it there, though, Byway Courier.
Yeah. This is when we did the feature with Team Eureka before the last Pro Tour. Byway Courier was sort of their, like kind of like flatline. Like, is this uncommon or rare better than Byway Courier? This is sort of where they were just like kind of like that was the tier they set. Like of the middle commons. It was like this is just a really good card that we always want in our deck.
Yeah.
Is your card better than that? Oh, look at Blood Mist.
That's interesting from Seth. I wonder if he brought that in. I'm also curious about how good that card's been for him if he didn't.
Blood Mist is in his main deck.
You can see why. I mean, look at this curve.
Yeah. The card feels, and that could be the kind of card that was in his hand last game.
Yep,
that,
it could have
maybe
been.
You don't want to cast it, before you have anything on your board. Card feels like Nahiri's Machinations to me a little bit.
Good when you're attacking, terrible when you're not, right?
It is the least martial card.
It is. I mean, and Dan looks like he's going to try to line up some type of a race situation to try to punish Seth for playing like a Blood Mist.
Here's Hamlet Captain.
There's the News Constrictor. Dan's from Ohio, by the way, and he got third at GP Atlanta in 2015. He 9-0'd once. That was in the GP that he got third in.
Yeah.
Looking to put 9-0 number 2 on the resume here.
Runs around in circles with like Stu Summers and Jarvis Yu.
Okay. He's played over 120 GP matches this season, so he's been out and about. There's no doubt about that.
All right.
Seth decided just to take the 2 from the News Constrictor.
Feder and Cathar add to his board along with the Hamlet Captain.
Yeah, Brazen Wolf's Blood Mist is a beating.
I think it's called a combo.
Yeah, once you get to 4 power, right, that's where that kind of card becomes really, really good. But he does need to be able to keep attacking, and if Seth finds himself behind a little bit, if Dan finds a removal spell for the Wolves, all of a sudden Seth is probably dead. I mean, he's a little all in here. Though it's looking fine. Like, this is fine. Attacking for 4, double strike is pretty good. Oh no. He just killed him. He did. He just 14'd him. Borrowed Hostility.
So Dan said,
Made it
sure,
7.
I'll take it. Wow. What could go wrong here?
Wow.
He didn't cast any spells in game one. He can't have anything in his hand
stole
game two.
that game. Look at Dan, a little smile. Like, what the heck, man?
Shades of the rush of adrenaline plays from the Grand Prix before our last Pro Tour.
Right. So just to recap, there was a few things that happened. Seth went to attacks. There was a trigger for Blood Mist, and when he attacked with the Brazen Wolves, there was a trigger there, so it was 4 power, and he gave it +3/+0 until end of turn. And with double strike, that's 14 damage. Dan was at 12 and did not block.
Did not have 14 life
Ow.
to give away. Wow.
That is a beating. Just to update you, by the way, on that GP Player of the Year race as we jump back over here. So Manfield is 8-0 coming into this round, as we mentioned, and he just won that game. He Reed Duke was 6-2 coming into this round. Brian Bronduin, who, by the way, was in the lead, was 7-1, and then Saito is 6-1-1.
Right.
Coming in. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Again, BBD is the one who's ahead. He's like, I think 1 point ahead of Saito coming in.
Right.
But Manfield can jump them. He's right in the hunt as well.
So worth noting that with like there's 8 points, on the line here.
For a win.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, yeah, and so the thing is, coming in, we had BBD on 53 points, Saito on 52, and then Duke and Manfield were both tied, right? So that's kind of how things are shaping up right now. So BBD has a full 5-point lead over Seth Manfield. Now, all he needs to do is maintain that while not letting Saito jump him, as it looks like Reed Duke is starting to fall off at 6-2. I mean, even if he goes into 7-2, things could get interesting if BBD loses and Matt and Seth wins. But this last round's really important.
Manfield and Duke can't get above 56 points at Grand Prix this season.
That's correct. That's their maximum.
Yeah, BBD can get to 61, and Saito can get to 60.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is very much undecided on who is going to be the Grand Prix Player of the Year, or if there will be one. Seth will win it if he, overtakes them, but the true implications are the World Championship seat, which he's already got locked up. Bloodbriar with 2 counters. I have not seen that yet. So well done, Petter.
We saw John Finkel had Bloodbriar and Tireless Tracker in play at the same time.
Oh my God, are you serious? Wow, no wonder he played the Extricator.
Yeah, and the Extricator.
This is starting to come together.
Petter's at 2. Sin Prouder's clearly been doing some work.
Indeed.
I don't know if I can think of a more Cuneo card than Sin Prouder. It seems like his.
What is Nagging Thoughts doing in the graveyard?
All right. This is not looking good for Petter, but looks like we'll have time to come back to this one. In the meantime, let's go back to our main match between Dan Musser and Seth Manfield as they go into Game 3.
You can see how aggressive Seth is being, by the way. This is definitely the Blood Mist deck. If you're going to play all these aggressive cards.
Is it Grand Prix Ottawa that Seth Manfield won? It was a limited Grand Prix, was it?
No.
But
I can't remember.
It was a Canadian Grand Prix limited, and we saw Seth trumpet blasting.
Oh, it was Ottawa. It was.
Trumpet blasting and just going super aggressive, red deck. That's definitely something he likes to do if he can.
Ottawa 2014.
Yeah. That was sort of the beginning of
He also won Albuquerque this year. He also won Daytona Beach in 2007 when he was like 15 or something.
He's won 5 Grand Prix.
Yeah.
All right, in comes the Ember Eye.
Seth is a certified beast.
And Howlpack Wolf.
Wow, he is just thumping here. Dan Musser has done nothing? He won that first game with basically no resistance from Manfield, and now Manfield has gone 2-3.
Okay, there's the Fiend Binder.
Sure, it trades off for the Howlpack Wolf. Threatens to block and eat up a bunch of mana of the Ember Eye Wolf, so it's not bad. If it dies, it's only got 2 toughness, then Seth gets to crunch in for another 4. At least.
At least.
Yeah, this is where Seth wants to see a card like Galvanic Bombardment. Just pick that 4-drop off and crunch.
Fiendbinder desperately wants flying.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I just saw Reed Duke walk by. He came into this round at 6-2, but I don't know if he's won his round or not.
Seth plays his 4th land, which represents a 2nd activation on Ember Eye Wolf. And Fiendbinder tries to trade with the Howlpack Wolf. It's successful. 1 point of damage from the Ember Eye Wolf every turn. That's the plan. And Gavinion Hallowed.
That's interesting. He played it
Post-combat.
post-combat there. Usually you want to play that pre-combat, but I guess he wanted to represent the ability to pump the Ember Eye Wolf and get in that extra damage rather than have the chance for the counter. Because the other play would have just been play the on-hollowed attack with my 3/3. All right, so I do have an update here, by the way.
Okay.
BDM. Reed Duke did win his match, so he improves to 7-2, and we'll be seeing him tomorrow. We knew that, but
Guardian of Pilgrims is the play there.
Attention players, if you rebound
So it's got sort of a weird creature-based. Sanctifier of Souls. Yes. Got a weird sort of prowess for whenever a creature enters the battlefield, and it's got the ability to remove creatures from the graveyard to make spirit tokens.
right, you can pay 2 and a white and pick one off from your graveyard to get a 1/1 flying spirit. Otherwise, it's just a 2/3 for 4, which is admittedly not super exciting.
Yeah. And Seth is unimpressed and attacks right into it.
It looks like Dan's taking it.
There you see the Sanctifier of Souls. 3 mana, exile a creature card.
Oh, and there's that Mirrorwing Dragon. Wow, Dan is really up against it here.
There you get a look at him. 6th land. What do you have?
By the way, this curve from Seth Manfield is absolutely savage. He
He had
went
a 2,
2-drop,
3, 4,
3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop.
Yeah.
And they're good, too. Not great, right? The Mirrorwing Dragon's pretty darn great, but, like, the Ember Eye Wolf's just fine. The Howlpack Wolf is very good. The Gavinion Hallowed's just fine. But still, like, 2, 3, 4, 5 is very difficult to beat in Limited. Can Musser pull it off? Is that the Extricator?
It is.
Looks fine here. He does seem to be flooding a little bit, so cashing in a land, turning it into a creature seems fine. Also gives him maybe a chump blocker. He's got Hermit
And
as
Hermit,
well.
yeah.
And that's 2, 3. That's 3 triggers, actually, on the Sanctifier there.
So he gets to attack for 5 with it.
Wow. That's a big hit. Needs lifelink. Man, Seth wants to see one of his tricks here. You can just start forcing through damage. Well, this is good news for Dan Musser. Seth is now in the tank. If he had an easy win, you know, Dan being tapped out would just be dead. And that is the type of thing you think about, honestly, in this situation is like, you know, Seth going like Blood Mist, Borrowed Hostility, your dad, which would kill him. But when a number 1 ranked player in the whole world takes this long, it means you're probably not dying this turn. So Dan may have a chance here. He does have a creature in the graveyard that he can use with the Sanctifier of Souls to get him a chump blocker for the dragon for a turn.
But by the way, if Borrowed Hostility becomes a little gross for Seth with the Mirror Wing Dragon.
It doesn't only count for your opponent, though. He doesn't get to just mirror it all on himself, right? That's how I understood it. It is a mythic, though.
No, it's whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery card that targets only Mirror Wing Dragon.
Okay.
That player has to target all the creatures that player controls.
So all of your stuff, no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he can totally go off.
Yeah.
That's pretty gross. That is pretty gross. That is nasty. There you go. Mirror Wing Dragon. I guess its wings reflect equally.
Yeah, I've seen people, talking about getting Rush of Adrenaline on it, or, anything that lets you draw a card when you target it.
I like that.
Yeah, talked about the idea of using Malevolent Whispers to steal it from somebody and give your entire team +2/+0.
It looks like that. So Seth attacked for 4, then passed. Then Dan just said go. He's left up to 3 mana to make a spirit token here, and he's also transformed his werewolf.
Yeah, Hermit of the Night Gnolls. Seth's added the dead horse to his board. Is beating with a dead horse count?
Yeah. Yeah. The life totals will reflect that as well. God, Seth Manfield's sealed deck here is just absolutely terrifying. I'm trying to put myself in Dan Musser's seat, and it's like the Mirror Wing Dragon plus the Blood Mist and the combat tricks is just like the scariest thing ever. I would not be surprised to see Dan just make a chump blocker here, though.
A chump token?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see it. I don't think he's getting much better than a chump block out of these tokens, and it's a little bit of a scary spot. Now, he doesn't necessarily have to do it now, but he could.
Yep, there you go. So Sanctifier of Souls removes the Fiend Binder.
Yeah, and he just did a shortcut verbally. He just said, I'll block the dragon.
Another land. Oh, another 5-drop. Rethinks it. What's it going to be, Seth? Can you go 9-0 here as you chase down another berth at the World Championship?
Wow.
And by the way, just padding his lead, maybe against Owen.
Yeah, that's true.
So certain death for the Sanctifier of Souls, which is going to drop Dan to 8 and push Seth back up to 17.
It also kind of shuts off that engine in case Dan had other creatures go to the graveyard. Interestingly as well, Seth Manfield tapped 5 mana the turn prior, then untapped them, and then tapped 6. And that does put it in your head that he's got potentially a 5 mana play in his hand as well, which is scary.
Dan Musser's he's got to deal with that dragon. And then once he's done that, he has to deal with the Ghoul Steed. By the way, Gavany Unhallowed will be getting bigger if he's doing those things.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine. He has a 3/5 in play. Like, he has those threats covered at least as the board sits. The dragon, on the other hand, is a major issue.
Literal head scratcher.
Is Dan lining up to try to make a race out of this? It's a very difficult spot to be in for a race.
Yeah, perhaps have some sort of escalate card.
Could be.
Any number of them could be pretty good here.
Yeah, that's a good point. May have an Emissary of the Sleepless in his hand. Subjugator Angel.
Oh,
Okay.
by the way, tap your team.
So tap your team down. That does clear the way for 6 damage if he'd like. And he would have an 0/3 and a 4/3 flyer back for blocks. Which are not great blockers given the scenario that he finds himself in here. He could still be taking a lot of damage. 4 from the Ghoul Steed.
Okay. Decides to get in for 8.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 6.
This is risky business. Because Seth Manfield's attacks look pretty decent here. The Angel does not tussle well with the Dragon. It does trade for the Ghoul Steed, but shrug.
Can eat
And this
the
is just an
Gavany
easy-
Unhallowed.
Yeah, and he's going to have to block the Ember Eye Wolf and not be able just to block the Gavany Unhallowed. So he's taking a big hit of damage here no matter what.
Okay. So he's going to put the Angel in front of the Ghoul Steed. He's going to
And
put...
go to 2.
Yeah.
And any combat trick kills him, and he's got it.
He does have the borrow hostility
Yeah.
for his whole team.
For his team, but he didn't even need it.
Seth
Jeez,
Manfield.
look at Seth.
9-0.
God,
day
every
one.
single time he comes to a tournament, he just runs the tables. It doesn't matter the time zone, the hemisphere, he just crushes. Unreal.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, pretty insane the year he's been having. But I said I talked to him on Friday, and he said that he's really never felt this prepared for a new limited format. At his first event, we always see the Grand Prix. A couple weeks after the pre-release, leading into the Pro Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like usually this is my play testing. Usually, this is normally where I practice.
There's a big smile, by the way, from Seth.
Yeah, well, he's having a lot of fun. Obviously it's easy to say you're having fun when you're winning, but he's really enjoying this right now.
Really? It's fun to 9-0 everything all the time? Just take home buckets of trophies on every Magic trip you go on? Be the best #1 player in the world?
It's like, yeah, I got some friends coming over. We'll get a whole bucket of the trophies.
Oh, kidding.
All right, so we look in, by the way, just speaking of people with buckets of wins. Owen Turtenwald. Oh, look at that. He's got two
Thermal Alchemists. Or as you would say,
The Alchemist.
2 clues, 2 Thermal Alchemists, a Conduit of Storms, a Geistfield Scarecrow, which goes very well in the Thermo Alchemist deck, by the way. Oftentimes a little lighter on creatures.
Hot news, Australia. Hometown hero Ben Sack, 9-0 here at the Grand Prix.
Wow, undefeated for Vensek, defending the home turf. Great work by him. He's going to be playing in the Pro Tour next week as well.
Yeah.
Looks like a Drown Yard Behemoth there for Turtenwald. That's the one that has flash, and it has hexproof
As long as you played it that turn.
that turn, so they can't mess with it right away. And it usually gobbles up a creature. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
tick-tock, even flock. That's 2 more. You go down to 4. You're basically an instant or sorcery for Turtenwald wins it.
Identity thief for even.
Oh, he's got a Vexine Scuttler. Does he have a cheap enough? Yes, he does.
Oh,
He's got
a
press for answers
and
in
a, and
his
a
graveyard.
lightning axe.
There you go. It looks like Owen's going to be able to put this one together. He's going to sacrifice the ultimate discount and just pay 1 blue. This is going to let him play around.
And there's the hand. Owen Turtenwald goes to 8-1. We just watched the number 1 ranked player in the world go 9-0. And now you see the number 2 ranked player, Owen Turtenwald, go 8-1 here with your one of the cards you really love in this format,
Yeah.
Thermo Alchemist.
Great job by Owen. Flock picks up his second loss, so still a good day.
Yeah, safely into day 2. Not so safe on day 2. He has no losses to give if he's hoping to make top 8. A slightly smaller tournament than we've seen at some Grand Prix recently. So, you might see an X2-1, but that's it here for the action at Grand Prix Sydney 9.